an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Disney+Us. Today we are super hyped to be reviewing the first episode of the new Disney Plus show, WandaVision.
MCU kicked off Phase 4 with a love letter to the traditional sitcom, and we are so excited to tell you guys what we loved about the show.
We're going to break down our review of the first episode, look at what we thought were the highlights of it, and also go into some of the deeper mysteries that are hiding underneath the surface. So the structure of the show is that every single episode is going to decade hop forward in time for the style of sitcom that the show is parodying, and then it will air a final set of 3 episodes that will all run very closely together, be set in present day, and serve effectively as a Marvel action movie as the grand finale of the show.
Our first episode starts in the 1950s, and one thing that I absolutely loved about this episode, and I hope it continues through all of the decade hopping episodes, is you start off with a traditional theme song like you would see in a show such as I Love Lucy.
Just moved to town, a regular husband and wife.
Right away it sets the stage because you see the old-fashioned car pulling up, you see that Wanda and Vision are quote-unquote newlyweds, but at the same time you also see, just from that song, that they also still have superpowers, at least of some sort, because Wanda changes the for sale sign outside their new little suburban home to, instead of saying for sale, it now says sold. And then Vision is going to carry her across the threshold like a proper gentleman. But then, because he can go through doors, he accidentally drops her and goes through the door without her because he didn't open it. So right away, you have the stage set, and you also know that this is going to be a fun 1950s take on our traditional superheroes.
Yeah, while the show hits so many beats of classic sitcoms, with this pilot episode being set in the 1950s, so the very first famous sitcoms, it also hits a lot of the beats of The Incredibles, with the family drama between superheroes trying to act normal, and it adds a very relatable, lovable aspect to the show.
The entire plot of this first episode revolves around something most every couple can relate to: a breakdown in communication.
Oh, but we've never done that.
Oh, of course not.
So in this episode, Vision and Wanda see that there is a specific marking on the calendar to mark the day, that evening, as a special day.
Special about today?
Well, I know the apron is a bit much, dear, but I am doing my best to blend in.
No, there on the calendar. Someone's drawn a little heart right above today's date.
Oh, yes, the heart.
But neither can remember why the calendar was marked for that day, which kind of shadows general amnesia that they have about their past. As the episode continues, Wanda ends up preparing for that night as their anniversary.
You would never forget our anniversary, would you?
No, of course not. It's on my phone. But Vision realizes that the day was marked because he's bringing his boss and his boss's wife over for dinner. So when they finally reconnect in the evening, they have to quickly scramble to prepare dinner for their important guest. All right, favorite scenes. And this isn't to say that the whole episode wasn't good, but my favorite part was our scene of Vision when he's at work. He has this moment of questioning why he's there at all, and these questions lead to no answers. And the response and his overall confusion is just hilarious.
Would you be so good as to tell me what it is we do here exactly? Do we make something?
No.
Right. Do we buy or sell something?
No and no.
Then what is the purpose of this company?
When I was working in the office, I remember having days just like Vision's.
My favorite scene involves Wanda trying to entertain her guests while Vision helps her make dinner. The problem is Wanda was preparing for a nice intimate evening in with her husband, and so her entertainment techniques may not be very effective.
What about seduction techniques?
Oh, I have those.
Of course you do.
Just out of curiosity, what does it say?
You could point out that the death rate of single men is twice that of married men.
Now that's romantic. I hope you're hungry.
Starved is more like it.
My head is starting to feel woozy.
Were either of you aware that married men are killing single men at an alarming rate?
What are you going on about?
When I heard Wanda's statistic for the first time, I actually spewed my drink all over our living room floor.
And now for our merch minute. That is not going to be a minute and is also not sponsored.
Remember in the second WandaVision trailer when you saw that mysterious sword necklace? And everyone started speculating that it was a reference to Sword, the space counterpart of S.H.I.E.L.D., and whether it's going to play a factor in Phase 4 of the MCU. And you thought to yourself, well, I need that sword necklace. We've got options for you. So Hot Topic has a nice bargain piece for a mere $12.90. Now, if you're too cool to shop at Hot Topic, then we have a nicer piece for you. And this is from Rock Love. The presentation in this jewelry is amazing. I have several pieces from Rock Love and absolutely love their craftsmanship. Highly recommend them if you're willing to break open your piggy bank. My favorite shirt this week uses the phrase from the first episode of "We are an unusual couple, aren't we?" But it also incorporates what we know is still coming, the meta Halloween costumes, which are actually a reference to their outfits in the comics.
And this is totally going to be one of, if not the most popular costume this Halloween.
If you're a Star Wars fan and you remember how you couldn't get a Mandalorian costume to save your life last year, that's what's going to be like this year with WandaVision. And to close things off, in a very sweet memento, there are replica rings, which we see Wanda make for her and Vision at the end of the show. I personally would have already pre-ordered this, except that the men's ring is a size 10, and Teddy here is not a size 10.
And this is just beautiful. The ring box that you get being the old-fashioned TV set. And yeah, the detail on these pieces is awesome. I think the WandaVision rings are actually a perfect chance to talk about some of the meta mysteries that the first episode threw at us. So the episode ends with Wanda and Vision trying to reconcile why they can't remember anything about their lives. This is the line, "We are an unusual couple. We don't have an anniversary. We don't have a song."
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
What I mean is, we don't have an anniversary.
Huh.
Or a song. Or even wedding rings.
Well, we could remedy that. Today could be our anniversary.
Of what? Surviving our first dinner party?
Precisely. And our song could be?
Yakety yak, naturally.
Naturally.
And the rings?
Well, couldn't you make some for us?
Vision just says, well, we can make all of those things. So they come up with a song, they come up with an anniversary date, and then the rings, they each hold up their hands, and Wanda just makes the rings appear, which is outside of her powers as we've ever seen them in the MCU. Being able to just create objects is like reality stone level of power.
Yeah, it's definitely intriguing to me. I'm definitely on the other side of the fence in that I'm really enjoying just the face level value of the sitcom episode. And I speculate a little bit on who they might be bringing in as the next big bad villain now that Thanos is gone. But mostly I'm willing to just see the story as it develops, and I'll leave the speculation to Teddy over here.
There are just so many interesting details. We have an extremely unsettling scene where Wanda and Vision watch his boss choke at the dinner table and then almost pass out before Vision saves him. And then after that, the boss and his wife just leave, not even as if nothing had happened, as if they'd had a great time. And Wanda and Vision are both surprised by this, but they don't deal with it at all. They don't talk about it. They just move on. And so I think that things can get really interesting as we move forward. I know that the way they have it set up, there's probably going to be things that bring up even more questions before we start getting answers. I don't expect that we're going to get many answers, at least from the show, until the final few episodes, but speculating along the way is part of the fun. Final thoughts. What did you think?
I really like this episode, and I'm also really looking forward to the 1960s and a hint of color TV.
Yeah, this episode, it showed how lovable that Wanda and Vision can be together, and that they've really committed to making this a comedy. And so I am really looking forward to how the show evolves as it takes on the tone of the different decades. All right, that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching. This has been
Disney+Us.
I'm Teddy.
And I'm Hope.
We'll see you guys next time for episode 2. All right, well, this has been
Disney+Us.